Awesome. Hey guys, how y'all doing? We are Hobby Graveyard. That's our latest project. Members containing me, lead programmer, Jamie, our project designer, and Chelsea, our lead designer. So Hobby Graveyard is helps users with common problems to declutter their lives, addressing their unfinished hobbies and unused products gathering dust. It aims to assist users in reclaiming the value in their investment in these items uh, by either through trade or selling. We initially, next slide. We initially saw our primary users as in their late 20s to early 30s. People who prefer direct communication. They also look to clear out the items from their past hobbies and would possibly seek out new hobbies and for current new tools for current hobbies. They could use Hobby Graveyard to make connections and that help them maintain engagement in their current hobbies. After user testing, we found that many users have uh, engaged in their hobbies regularly, often daily, often abandon them due to lack of time or burnout. Users consider themselves as well-informed shoppers and prefer to do research on products and brands before making purchases. We had numerous ideas, such as sharing fun facts or trivia about each hobby. However, due to time limitations, we had to prioritize ultimately decide to concentrate on allowing users to list their items for sale and trade. Also, as well as enabling them to join local hobbies. Our user, oh, sorry. I'm going to pass it off to Chelsea to explain the design process.
Our user in mind is Glenn. Glenn has a passion for trying new things but struggles with managing a collection of unused supplies. Shifting through his closet is a nightmare. Discovering an ad for Hobby Graveyard, he downloads it and decides to give it a try. Being able to trade his old supplies for new ones as his current hobby makes managing his storage space so much easier. He even makes some friends in nearby groups and is able to effortlessly trade supplies with them as he desires. Using Hobby Graveyard, he is able to declutter his life but retains the value of the products he spent his hard-earned money on. With our user Glenn in mind, we created a relatively simple user flow. We have standard onboarding features, a user home with recommended listings based off of interests the user picks during onboarding, the ability to list your supplies for trade, sale, or both, a messaging center to keep in contact with new acquaintances and any sellers or buyers, as well as a message board for any groups you might join. Early iterations of the app were based off of multiple mood boards created by members of the team. We really focused on making the app a visually interesting experience from the get-go. Our lo-fi iteration saw the first design of our navigation bar, the interest selector, and our main screens. Through testing this iteration, the feedback we received included users preferring a forum-style communication over a DM style for hobby groups, and there needing to be more emphasis on a trading aspect of the app itself. Our font of choice was FS Pro. Its clean and easy to read typing made it an easy choice, as well as the first designs for the app being iterated with Apple in mind. Our color palette was a mix of gentle pastels and bold pops of color to make the app fun and enjoyable to look at. Utilizing our style guide and the feedback received from our low and mid-5 prototypes, we settled in an up-to-date navigation bar, more in-depth trading screens, and a bright color scheme to bring the hi-fi into production.
All right, and I'm going to go through the app walkthrough. Okay, so again, our feedback, they initially didn't really know what the concept of the app was about. So because of that, we wanted to start our flow in the App Store where you can see that it addresses the problem. You download the app, and then once you enter the app, there's a quick little splash screen. You then have the onboarding process, which is like 3 to 4 slides, but you have the option to skip that. It goes over, again, the concept of the app, buy, sell, trade, and connect with others. So this particular flow is going to go through a new user and what that is like signing up. You enter your information. And then once you've created an account, it will lead you to an interactive page, which asks you about your hobbies and interests. You have the option to skip this, but essentially this page will curate a feed for you on the homepage based on your interests that you select. So here's an overview of the homepage. You can post a new listing, browse by category, and that curated feed from the previous screen. We also have groups, but the first part we're going to go through is creating a listing. So you select your photos, write a description, select your categories, if you want to sell it or trade, and then how you would like to deliver your product. Once you post the listing, it will kind of give you an overview of your post. You can make sure it looks all good. And then you return to home. Again, there's browse by category, and then the recommended listings for you. This is what the feed looks like. You have the opportunity to bookmarks, listings, has the location, how you deliver the product. Let's say you want to make a trade, so you're going to select items from your inventory that you think match the value of the product or products. Once you confirm your selection, it will just make you confirm it again, give you an overview. And once you confirm, it will send the trade to the person. And then if they either decline or accept your offer, you will get a notification, view it, and it will say trade complete. This mostly goes on the honor system, kind of how like Facebook Marketplace works. The trader should update you via DMs with the tracking number once it's shipped and vice versa. And due to time's sake, we didn't go into the groups, but essentially it's kind of like Reddit, just different forums you can join. There's local ones and that sort of thing. But yeah. And then I'll pass it back to Jacob to go over our website.
Thank you, Jamie. Yes, we currently we used a template to display our app. We are currently just using it as to advertise it and get the word out and educating people. We do have links that work. If you click on the download button, it will lead you to the on the top row in the nav bar.
Oh,
Yeah, it's good. It'll lead you to the prototype that you could test out yourself. As of right now, we're currently just experimenting, and we do plan on using the website and adding more features to it. That's currently pretty much it. Thank you for your time.
My initial comment I thought I had was the trade idea looks interesting. Is there any evidence from your test to suggest that this can be expanded beyond hobbies? People can trade things they have in their home or other things.
I mean, that wasn't really the goal of the app. Our problem was specifically to deal with like people who like lose interest in their hobbies quickly and want to exchange products so that they're not losing money on the products that they invested in.
Okay, then. So to that extent, what, if any, metrics did you use to measure whether your app solves that issue for them or not?
Good question.
Sorry, what was that?
So that's a good question. I don't know if my
Uh,
team wants to join me in, but
so we've been pretty much testing with assortment of people. We initially had most of our responses from Google Forms, but I have done multiple tests with other users, and they said the feedback was more mixed because it was just a regulated tech demo, a linear tech demo. But they do are open to using apps dedicated just for trading. Does that make sense, or did I answer your question?
Yeah, so they're open to using it potentially. In your interview, you found that out. Um, but yeah, I mean, metrics could be something a bit more concrete, a bit more measurable in your user test, even though it's not, a published app yet. You could still measure them how they use the prototype, perhaps measure how, the ease of use, the time it takes to complete a task, things like that.
I'll chime in real quick, I guess. I thought the little icons were super cute, and I really liked the color choices as well. And it's crazy to see like how the hi-fi prototype like transformed from your mid to lo-fi prototype. It looks really good. I do think that, like just sort of jumping off of what Ramsey said, there's like an interesting idea of like maybe skill sharing to this that could have maybe or even possibly could still be explored. But possibly like in terms of the connection aspect, like a skill sharing type of thing, where like maybe you never got into the hobby because you didn't really know how to, or someone could like teach you how to crochet, and then I don't know, something like that. But great job. You guys are awesome. I'm gonna shut up now.
No, that was really great feedback. Thank you so much. I That's definitely a different perspective we didn't consider, and I do value.
For me was I like the aesthetic of your design, and I really liked how you integrated the little ghosts with the
Jordan,
idea.
you're for me,
Can you
you're
hear
kind
me?
of cutting out.
Hold on. Can you hear me now? Yes? No? You can't hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Sorry, I've been having trouble with my computer all day. Anyways, I was gonna say that it's kind of interesting that the concept. I liked the aesthetic of it, and I like the choices that you made with your little avatars and such. The only thing that I'm kind of interested in, kind of feels like the concept is kind of like missing a step, because if I'm like, not to compare, but if I'm thinking about the first one with Swapped, it seems like it's a similar idea, but that is like in the name of sustainability, and it feels like almost like if you're trading because somebody is like losing interest, and I don't feel like people find it like I feel like people, it's okay to not finish things and to move on to new hobbies, but if you're getting interested in hobbies and then losing interest in them, just collecting things, I feel like there's more of a problem there that could be solved. Kind of like piggybacking off of what I think it was Rebecca, what Rebecca just said. Um, where it's like, or maybe it was Ramsey. I don't know. The adding the idea that you could maybe learn those hobbies, I think would have been really, really helpful, because otherwise it kind of just feels like encouraging people to consume, and then having this be like their like somewhat return on a failed investment kind of thing. It just kind of feels like it's more of like a bleak outlook, if that makes sense, in the most respectful way possible.
I think the whole purpose is that it's encouraging people to start new hobbies while still, like, you may become interested in a hobby, invest time, money, supplies into it and then decide it's not for me, I don't have the time for it, I don't have the resources for it, but maybe, like instead of guitar, I want to paint. Well, this enables you to go on and swap those supplies with somebody who maybe no longer wants to paint and would like to learn the guitar, So instead of you spending potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars on something that's then going to sit in another part of your house, apartment, whatever, and just collect dust, where you eventually sell it for like $5 at a garage sale, you could kind of get a return on your investment.
Okay. I'm also curious, like, who are your guys' competitors? I'm sorry if I missed that part. Can you reiterate?
No, we didn't go over our competitors. Our competitors were Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, and Nextdoor.
Okay. 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 Thank you.
Also, just to kind of piggyback off of what Jordan said, I think it could be really cool to shift it in a more positive way, because I do think the branding is really cool with Hobby Graveyard and the ghost. It's really like cute. But I think it could be really cool if maybe there was a section of like how like ways you can ignite your passion with that hobby, or like maybe little like sections where you can talk with other people who do that hobby. Instead of like throwing away that hobby, like finding new ways to maybe get into it could be a cool feature as well.
Yeah, so there is like groups and forums you can join. That's kind of what we were thinking. But we were also told to like limit our features. So just, I guess, for time constraint. But that is definitely something that we want to develop further.
Gotcha. Cool.